You'd love broader insight? Get with me one-on-one. All right, I've got like 2 different camera views for you guys. Okay. If you are joining me on YouTube, welcome to the Open Channel Live. Tonight, we're jumping into cosmic disclosure, all things alien, UAP related, and honestly, what that truly means for us, for humanity. And I will also be answering any of your questions live in the chat, as well as here over on TikTok for those of you that have questions around those topics. Hello, hello. Hi, guys. Hello. Welcome. Okay, so hi. Hi, guys. I'll let you guys all pop in for a minute before I jump in too quick. Hi, guys. Hello on my YouTube channel. Hello, TikTok. Welcome, welcome. All right, so cosmic disclosure. Everybody wants to meet an alien. Like everyone. We're all like obsessed with it. I'm like so waiting for the in-person meet and greet. Hello, sign me up. I'm ready. Um, so what's happening currently? They are gifting you guys and the general populace information. Generally, for those of you that are already well versed in the concept and the topic, it's probably nothing new, right? I looked through some of the documents and the videos and the information. I didn't see anything that I hadn't already seen or wasn't in some of these other documentaries like Age of Disclosure or anything that Dr. Stephen was or has been talking about. But that's just because, again, I'm well versed in the concepts with interdimensional consciousness and UAPs. So none of this stuff is probably new to most of you. To the rest of the population, however, it is. And either way, I still find it like really, really exciting because I'm like, ooh, finally, finally, we're hitting this place where some of the information is going to start to trickle out, even if it's stuff that seems like, yeah, 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 we know, or yeah, 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 the Roswell thing. Okay, we get it, we get it. But we have to start somewhere because not everybody is ready for that information. Because what's really going to happen when you truly sit back and understand the admittance of interdimensional life, right? And craft, and having a government style official be like, yeah, that's actually happening. The rest of the population has to grapple with some of their spiritual belief systems. And that's going to take time. And that means people need to like evolve. Also, people that could look like, oh, look, cosmic disclosure, and here's orbs and UFOs, and then like the next iteration is like, oh, everything's the devil, right? Like it's not everybody is ready for the meet and greet yet, so it is going to take like a little bit of time. But again, how cool is that? Because we are finally in a place where humanity is ready to go. What's outside the box? If this is all we've ever known, what is outside of the box now? Rita. Right? Which then brings up what I'm far more excited about, which is so many people at this point in time are now having this like secondary spiritual awakening. Okay, so you've like run through the gamut of maybe different rabbit holes and conspiracies. And maybe you're accepting of that there's something else out there, and you're like, okay, so there's something else out there, and then the government is now acknowledging that something else is out there, and you're like ready to exit outside of your little box. How do you do that? So many of you right now are having crazy intuitive experiences, having soul gifts, intuitive gifts start to activate and come online, questioning your own realities, right? That's part of this whole cosmic disclosure experience. Not accepting the narrative. We've been building towards this. This means other systems are going to start collapsing, right? It's a trickle. It's a trickle down. Also, this means outdated timelines are also going to collapse because the awareness, the collective awareness is ready for more. They're ready to handle more. Everyone's ready. We've hit the like, the domino. It's ready to like tip over. This is why so many of you feel like something else is coming. Something doesn't something maybe feels off. Like what's going on? Like your reality is starting to change and expand beyond the box that you were initially given. And part of this is that cosmic disclosure awareness that something else is out there. So what does that mean if something else is out there? How do you connect with that? Okay, so if another species is out there, how are they traveling to here? How are we making contact? What does that mean for technology? There's all these like areas of industry in the physical that are also going to start to shift and change. They've already been doing it, right? Since the first Roswell crash, reverse engineering technology. And there's tons of people in this world that have come out and spoken about this. Again, probably for most of you guys, this is not new information. But for the rest of the population, it's going to get the wheels turning. It's going to get them thinking. And ultimately, I mean, like, outside of I want to see more UFOs and alien stuff, really, like, the disclosure is that consciousness is expanding faster than most of us can explain. We're moving the box, and the way that you're moving towards this next phase, and this goes with the 5D, New Earth timelines. I mean, it's just like we're going. We're along for the ride now. It's happening. There's no stopping it. There's no putting, the rabbit back in the box. And it's not going back. It's happening. Hi guys. So what does it mean for that reason? Because again, the collective being able to interact with consciousness and the field, the consciousness field at large, the quantum field at large is far more interesting to me. Hi guys. I mean, how many of you have been like talking about aliens or UFOs or maybe psychic experiences and synchronicities in a dream that I had, and then it happened, and then people used to look at you like you were totally bonkers. And now we're at the place where it's like, oh yeah, yeah, aliens are real. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's probably a shadow government. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like yeah, people can be psychic. Like what a crazy timeline trajectory we've entered into. Eric, you think they're real and they're here to help. So I want to talk about that, which is really interesting. Um, yeah, let's go there. So are the aliens like here? Are they coming to like intervene and help? Everything that I've channeled, uh, they are already here. Obviously, there are many different species that are here. There are many different species that have always been here. It's why I prefer the term interdimensional versus alien for for a multitude of reasons. One, there's many different realities existing on top of this reality, many different densities and dimensions. Some existing already, just as we are here in the physical, in this 3D density, but maybe they're in another density. So the veil gets thin and you start participating with communicating with, again, the unforeseen world, with this like cosmic consciousness, with the quantum field. Again, the veil starts slipping. You start being able to like see and perceive information in a different way. Now, that's one avenue. Are they coming to save us from ourselves? I wish, but we as humans have this like complex, right? It's almost like the girl in the sugar daddy syndrome, where it's like I just want a sugar daddy to like handle my life instead of just like getting to work. Like just get to work and get to it and save yourself. We're like, no, somebody else come do it. Uh, it's really like not gonna happen. Can can you interact with interdimensional to help you understand new things and broader spectrum concepts will eventually this interaction evolve, yes. But for right now, it's like we're people, we're humans. Let's not discount how incredibly gifted and thoughtful we are as humans. We are totally capable of getting shit done. Many of the species have already dropped off technology here. Some of that technology is not being used for its intended purpose. Um, I channeled a little bit earlier today regarding another topic regarding like AI. So this is like a little side tangent. And one of the things that came through when I was channeling about AI was about some of these technologies and how things will evolve for the technologies to be used for their intended purpose. That is also part of the cosmic disclosure because things like free energy and medical technology, all of being beneficial and not being used as weapons. broader implications of what it means to be connecting with other civilizations that maybe have more advanced technology. But just because a civilization has more advanced technology doesn't necessarily mean that they're so again, we kind of got to get that like weird savior complex thing out of our brains. Right? Aliens aren't coming here to save us. Um, so are there bad aliens or bad entities? Um, Good and bad is a very, very interesting concept when you start working with these higher dimensional entities. Um, Duality, good and bad, on this planet is very unique. So let's go like this. Cockroaches. Nobody likes a cockroach. Everybody's, oh my god, they're gross, they're ugly, they're so bad. I don't want them in my house. But does a cockroach serve a purpose in the generalized ecosystem of things? Do other bugs and worms and things that we would usually be like, ew and icky? Yes. So does that necessarily make them bad if they are serving a purpose? It's always like from that perspective. And as we start to expand our awareness, right? This is part of the disclosure, expanding our awareness. It's like, how does that perspective shift change? So you mean that they want to end humanity? Nothing I've channeled supports that. So I can't say yes or no. When I connect with interdimensional entities for guidance or otherwise, it is always through so much love and positivity. As above, so below, right? If there's light, there's going to be dark. That's just where we're at. So what about the grays and people that encounter the experimenting on them? Is it true? Okay, great question. Um, I have had clients through hypnosis sessions, multiple clients, experience and relive abduction scenarios. Hi, Brandon. Relive their and experience abduction scenarios. One of the things that happens when they're moving through that experience is the higher self comes forward and lets us know that there's usually a pre-life agreed upon agreement to participate in that experience. Through the veil of forgetting in this lifetime that we're in this point on the timeline blip, we forget that agreement. And so many of these scenarios, abductions, hybridized programs, those types of things, um, you end up forgetting. I've had clients that decided within their quantum soul journey session experience that they no longer wanted to participate in experimentation projects with other entities in this lifetime, and they canceled those contracts, and that was the end of it. Because again, if you're right, if all time is now, and like this is part of like that, like consciousness expansion and cosmic disclosure, you can choose to heal, cancel a contract, etc., whatever timeline, and it's going to revert out to all time. Reading some of your questions. How do people know if they are hybrids or indigo children? Hi guys. So the hybrid program thing is interesting. It would probably that would probably be something that comes up as like a reoccurring dream, or even in a past life regression. If you're having, if you've had an abduction experience, um, that's kind of the only way that it's been brought up to me at this point. I don't really have any other way of being like, oh, you might be a hybrid if, which brings up indigo and star seeds, indigo children and star seeds, uh, terms that were made popular in the 80s by people that were newly doing this work, right? Whether it was Canon, and I think there's a couple other books that were like the Bringers of the Dawn, the woman that channeled the Palladian Collective, Barbara, yeah, I think is her name. I feel like the Starseed Indigo Children is like an entry level explanation to understanding why you might feel so drawn to not feeling here, tapped into your gifts, and wanting to explore more of this like cosmic connection. I think it was a really great introductory like, taste tester. But again, we hit the place where we now all understand that we all come from the stars. We have all lived other lifetimes on other planets before we've gotten here. Again, something else that has come up multiple times through my consciousness and emotion sessions. Green Google, hang on, you have a question. Do I have thoughts or experiences pre abduction consciousness? Referring to temporary memory. Yes, expand. Please tell me more. This is so interesting. I would love I would love to hear what's going on, Allison. Okay. As Allison's typing out her question. Okay, wait. Allison, I feel my experiences with communication started, let's say, without consent. Ah, and because of that, it felt like an abduction. Okay, I see what you're saying. In terms of like your consciousness. So I can relate to that, right? I felt like channeling came on for me in a way that didn't necessarily feel fully voluntary, but I do understand that it was absolutely voluntary. felt like an abduction when I understood what was going on. I voluntarily release your consciousness. Yes, I totally get what you're saying. Okay, so for those of you that are having interdimensional connection experiences with cosmic consciousness or whatever that like term, whatever that means to you, right? Uh, I feel like it's like when you open the door, right? Like when you open that door and it's like and kind of let the wind in and then the wind like blows the door wide open and all of a sudden your papers are flying everywhere in the room and you're like, what just happened? And they're like, well, you opened the door. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, like you started it. Exactly. It's like you have to, I want to say that you have to kind of be like, well, you participated in it, but I understand that like so many of us have these intriguing experiences where you're like, I did not want this to happen. I was perceiving like stuff that freaked me out, and maybe I had a contact experience, or maybe I had like a ghost experience. And that was the thing that kind of like blew open your mind. Um, yeah, it does feel like a little bit like you have to like have the doorway open a little bit for it to kind of keep coming through. It's so many people's children, right? We come into this experience having those types of interactions and then we shut it down. So many of you guys end up shutting it down. For those of us that don't, it is interesting. Is it like, have we lived a similar incarnation enough to understand what's happening? Is it part of our soul contracts, part of our mission work, right? There's no way alien pals need to physically bebop over here in UFOs in order to communicate with us, maybe sometimes, but it just seems extremely inefficient for very um, utilitarian beings. 100%. 100%, Allison. 100%. We do not, and this is like why I'm like such a like, I'm so like preachy, I feel like about like, you can all do this. This is the next phase. And this goes back to the starseed thing, right? And the indigo child thing. This is the next phase of human evolution. Being able to connect with your intuition, with the unforeseen world, and learning how to communicate beyond the veil that way is how we're going to start communicating with other interdimensional beings. Because again, language, me talking to you, is like so basic. Oh, new Starseed book that came out in November. Oh yeah, I want to read that. I do. I really hate the term Starseed. It's really, and maybe because it's just been like hijacked to create this like experience of separation in the spiritual communities. Like, maybe that's why it just, like, gives me the ick. Again, I understand, like, the term starseed is really great as, like, an introductory way of understanding the information, but we all come from the stars. We've all lived off-planet lifetimes before this lifetime, and the DNA has been the science is there, they can't explain it. We all have, like, weird DNA strands that evolution just does not explain. Yeah, I wanna check out this book, Allison. Hi, guys. So what are my thoughts on the Rh negative blood type? That is an interesting one, right? Because I know that's also another popular, um, like, this is, like, proof that it's been messed with. Potentially, who knows? I know the science there is still emerging. I'm also Rh negative. I think there's also something else that's interesting. Well, I don't know. I don't wanna say this because I can't confirm or deny. I feel like I saw something where a lot of abductees had Rh negative blood, but, like, don't quote me on that. I can't really remember if that's like, that was something that I saw scrolling, so I don't know if that's fact. You said malarkey, they can explain it, but we're just not ready yet. Listen, we're working towards that. Good night, Allison. Okay, have I ever been abducted? Get ready. Um, Not that I am, like, fully aware. I have had, like, in-person contact experiences, however. And then one of my closest friends is a multi-time frequent flyer of the abduction. She happens to be Rh negative. Uh, so my it my alien UFO story, um, beyond just like seeing and interacting with orbs, do they abduct family members? For her, for my friend, um, her and they came to her several times over her life, and then often, I think twice as an adult when she was carrying children. And actually, under regression, when we did her regression, she recalled all of her abduction experiences as well as her like being participatory in like the hybrid program and having off-planet children. Okay, so do I know if I've been abducted or is it possible? Probably that's something that you would want to experience through a past life regression or something that came up in a dream. If you're meant to remember it, sometimes it's not beneficial for you to like necessarily remember those things, right? Okay, so my UFO experience, I was with said friend that's been abducted multiple times. We are working production, event production in Sturgis for the biker rally. She and I both ride motorcycles, but we didn't go out to like experience the motorcycle rally. We purely went out to like network event production. And because of that, you're driving in and out of like kind of like downtown Sturgis to like these very remote places where there's you know, houses are out in the middle of nowhere. We're both sober. It's late. There are three of us in the car. Again, everybody's single. She and I are discussing some like weird quantum physics topic, like rabbit hole. Okay, it's like 1 in the morning, driving down this road out into the woods. About the length of like a football field. How long is a football field? This craft, triangular, huge. It is huge. It is also the size of like a high school football field. Um, Appears ever so slowly, and I'm like, holy shit! And it kind of stops at like a dead stop in the center of a road. Again, high school football field distance. She stops the car. She's driving the passenger, and I'm like, oh. I was like, dude, and she's grabbing my arm, and she's like, dude, I know. And I'm like, oh my god. I was like, is this real? This is real. We're both seeing this, right? And the minute I go to like grab, I can't like grab my phone quick enough to try and take a video. The minute I go to grab my phone, the thing shoots off at an opposite angle into a screaming little tiny ball of light. And that was it. And I was like, I had always like been like, oh, the truth is out there. There's aliens are probably real. I was having ghost haunted stuff my whole life, but it was probably until that moment that I was like, no way. Like there was no longer I couldn't deny it, right? There was no like I was like, I have seen it in person. I like it's happening. Yeah, I gotta be quicker than that. I was not quick enough. I was like, like fussing with the phone password and the whole thing. Like, I mean, the whole interaction was probably like 10 seconds. So that's my UFO. That's my UFO story. However, part of understanding cosmic disclosure and all of the things, right, is that again, much like what I was saying, it doesn't really serve them to manifest in the physical. We can all be talking up here, and when channeling came online for me, that was like the second part that I understood. Because when I started channeling first, it came through a Syrian entity that presented themselves to me. I didn't really understand what was happening then. And then it evolved. But understanding that you can participate, again, with cosmic consciousness, that it's a two-way situation is really part of this disclosure. If you guys want to call in orbs, want to interact with orbs, want to interact with interdimensional consciousness, you absolutely can. You just have to figure out the unforeseen languages, and that starts by utilizing your own intuitive language. Dr. Greer has a really great protocol for this, like the CE5 protocol. Do you think cats are aliens? That's where my cat communicates with them. Okay, so cats are communicating with the unseen world, and they pick up on energetic frequencies and vibrations. So all of these interdimensional species are utilizing these types of energetics to communicate, which is why this like disclosure stuff is really about expanding and tapping in to your abilities and the consciousness field of We can only see so much. We can only hear so much. We can only feel, right? You've got to start like going within, digging a little bit deeper into the sixth senses. Good questions, guys. Um, so reality. Do I think an alien's gonna plop down on the White House lawn? No. I mean, have you seen the org videos of them interacting over the top of the White House? Those are cool. But I don't think like they're gonna hold a press conference and walk out an alien being anytime soon. Um, I'm like still holding out for like again in-person meet and greet experiences. I'm curious about the timelines of that. So maybe that's something that we can ask the leading light here in a minute. Somebody asked, how can we better connect with cosmic consciousness? Again, it's learning to tap into all of your intuitive language abilities. Language looks like many different things. If none of us speak English, what does language really look like? What does language look like if you don't have a mouth? Do I think celebrities are fallen angels or not real humans? No. I think celebrities are just some of them. Listen, I lived in LA a really long time. You guys give a little bit too much credit to some of the conspiracy theories. A lot of those people are just real people with a lot of problems that have been given a platform. You have so plan of quality outfit right on the White House lawn. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't foresee them walking out a gray or anything. You know, maybe as a joke. I did see Trump posted that like Trump post of like, the AI thing with the gray, which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, here's the thing: you're playing with you guys at this point. There's like a movie coming out that Stephen King is making about disclosure, and also all of these like movies and things are kind of like scary, which is so interesting because the majority of the time when it's like connecting with all like you can connect with us through the frequency of love and like we really love you and we just want you to like, you know, work your whole shit out on your planet. We're here to support you. We've been there. It's so interesting. They're coming to enslave you. If they wanted to enslave us, they would have done so already. And we're doing a really good job ourselves. Do I offer classes to learn to communicate? So the answer is yes. You can work with me one on one to develop your intuitive language. I have just this week, I'm starting to work on a 4-week course on how to co-create with cosmic consciousness. And part of that is learning to communicate. But I'm just kind of like putting it together right now. I haven't really gotten into full launch mode on it yet. Um, but it is one of those like missing, like this is one of those like missing pieces and things that they've been like, hey, you need to kind of like start working on this. So eventually, in the next month or two, I have been dive into this, but you have to look at people. What else? I want to make sure that I get into answering any of these questions we talked about next time. All right. So, should we should I just get it on this channel message from the women like we talked about how consciousness is evolving, activation program. Make sure that I have it. For me, you'd rather be enslaved by aliens than the American government. Is it funny? Well, I mean, listen, we're all gonna get there eventually. We all, this is the thing with us. We're all gonna get there. It's like we're at this like point where like yeah, we're pushing outside the box of what we thought was possible. So what can we do to save the earth? Well, here's the thing: the earth is evolving, just like we're evolving. The earth is going to do its thing. Now, when I talk about co-creating consciously with cosmic consciousness, this includes a planetary consciousness. Connect with her, treat her as a living, breathing creature. Well, here's the thing: they're already here. Again, that's why I like to use the term interdimensional. A lot of the stuff that I channel, I've also seen them. I like the orbs again. I live on the coast. They're in and out of the water. They're in and out of the water. The water is truly uprooted. There's so much of the ocean we haven't accessed. There's also other energetic portals and vortexes on this earth, right? Cold Corners region in America, Sedona, those types of things. You would definitely like them to be closer. Careful what you wish for. You have to remember that we have a construct of what we think these entities and energies may look like, but they may look entirely different. Maybe they're ultra scary. It's kind of like angels. So when I started channeling and was getting the download, right, psychically, like, who are you? What do you look like? And it's like, they would show me one thing, and then they show me another, but they're like, this is just, you see whatever is going to be helpful for you to see, to understand us, which is an interesting thing because there's so many different galactic species and energies and entities that we could potentially be interacting with. And then it brings up the question, like, what do they look like really? You hear abductees saying, "Oh, I saw an owl." That one's pretty common because that's easier for the human psyche to grapple with. Um, our introduction to the meet and greet is probably going to be to entities that look more like us in reality, because that would be easier for us to grasp than something that's not. Have I seen the fourth kind? I mean, I've seen a lot that I oh, the movie? I'm like, "Well, I've seen a lot." I've seen a lot that I can't explain, I gotta be honest. But the movie, The Fourth Kind, yeah. Yeah, it's like all this, like, scary stuff, right? Where I'm like sometimes the scary part is us not really understanding the full picture. Similar to communication with the other side. We become more afraid of something when we don't really understand it from this like broader spectrum. How did I figure out I was a channeler? It happened purely by accident. Maybe that's like alive for another day, but I've shared this story a lot. It happened by accident. I was in a pretty low, dark place, like wanting to like myself, and I got really frustrated with the universe, and I was like, if you don't tell me what I'm supposed to be doing, today's the day, like fuck you kind of thing. And I had a Syrian being present herself to me, which was some aspect of me in another lifetime and another density, and we're having this like interaction thing. And it was such a weird experience. I need to do that another live, and I can jump into that. But yeah. All right. Well, before I go, before we always lose track of them, let's channel a message from the living light. If you are new here, the living light is a collective council of ascended light beings. They have a different density, Octurian, but they've like kind of moved a group that's kind of moved through their stuff, right? So just as humanity is evolving and moving through our stuff, they have now ascended and moved beyond. People have ascended everything. But in this case, for them, it's going to make sense because they are no longer in physical bodies. So they've ascended or expanded into a more light body entity energies. They love to come through and talk about timelines and share knowledge for you guys at large. There's one group that I channel that is specifically not for me, that I channel that is like, we want to work with you guys. So, channeling the living light, let's just kind of jump in and ask, where are we with kind of the disclosure timeline? What does cosmic disclosure mean for the rest of us? And anything else that like we should know, timelines, that kind of thing. So oh yeah, I just muted that guy. So I'll just kind of leave it open and give you a minute. Let's jump in and see what they have to say. I've been wanting to openly discuss concept with you as the timeline have shifted and are rapidly shifting. Humanity's readiness for contact and exposure to interdimensional information has increased. The next year is going to, again, look more and more like the awareness of such beings and entities and technology, seeing things publicly that cannot be explained through the rational mind. This is also why learning to develop your internal compass, your internal insight, and remain grounded is going to be important, as there are still timelines in play where this information of shared unity, consciousness, is misconstrued. Each of you, if you are willing, with cosmic consciousness, those of you ready for personalized contact experience, can do so at any given time. Moving forward in regards to timelines with more open disclosure with energies and entities. The end of this year, the beginning of next year, a more solidified statement from your leaders, your government, will be made known. Again, as the majority of the population is going to begin to witness things that they cannot explain. When you become more comfortable as a population, again, more information is going to be released with another large information dump happening in 2029 in regards to in-person meet and greet publicly. 2036 still seems to be the most probable time frame for open interaction. This will give time on your planet for those to adjust to their new normal. There are many energies, entities around you at all times. Again, you can choose to connect with them at any time. We are here. We wish to connect with you as well. We wish to offer support and guidance. However, understand that being uniquely human is an experience as well, and you each have within you important insight. You do not need to change your way of life on the planet. You can do so without any interference. Mm, thank you. Mm. Mm. All right. Um, so that's the Living Lights take on cosmic contact disclosure and timelines. It does seem though that things have picked up and accelerated a little bit. So when they've been a little pushy the last week and they're like, "Hey, prepare for open contact," it's like, okay, but the meet and greet is still like really far out, guys. But it does seem like we're going to have activity that is increased personal one-on-one contact as well. So super cool. For those of you asking, I will. If you're not on my email list, make sure to sign up for my email list because I will be releasing that workshop. I'll try for the next 2 weeks to get it in here. Can they make us younger? That is interesting. You know, I mean, the body is like a finite thing. The soul is not. But I think there's a lot of things that we can do to support our physical best. I would say the number one thing that comes through when I'm talking to any type of interdimensional energy, when I'm like, what can we do to support? They're like, you need to drink more water every time. They're like, you guys don't even realize like how dehydrated you are. There's your youth serum. Um, yeah, I'm gonna close out the open channel live for now tonight. For those of you, I know we talked a lot about um, past life stuff. So if you're curious about that, you can always message me one-on-one. If you're curious if you have a off-planet lifetime, if you're curious if you've had some other type of interdimensional contact experience, again, those things will come up in those types of sessions. If you're looking to connect with your spirit guides, your spirit team, your higher self, um, you can check out my spirit directive sessions, which is where I channel your higher dimensional guidance and you get to ask questions in real time. And then, of course, you can always work with me one-on-one to develop your intuition and your gifts. And the biggest thing is you don't have to quit your day job to have access to this information and integrate it into your daily life. It's just a game changer when you can learn to access information um, that way. Better start tapping into your higher self connection and guidance. They're gonna let you know what you need to do next. I promise. I promise. Spirit Guides Masterclass is a great place to start if you need to figure out how to connect with your higher self or your guides. Good place to start is for you. All right, guys, that was fun. That was a fun combo. The replay is going to be live here on YouTube. Obviously. All right, I'll catch y'all later.